Hi there, it's Susan Milner with Florida Future Realty, and today I want to take a minute to talk about some market statistics. I was just speaking with a colleague of mine who's in a different market area, and we were kind of talking about, what the market's been doing in this area and what I kind of think is going to happen and what she thinks might happen, and it was kind of interesting. And a few days ago, I was meeting with a potential seller, and we kind of talked about it as well, and the market has been really good for us here for a little while, and it has everybody on edge because we had such a crash in 2006, 7, 8, 9, that so dramatic. And so many people lost so much that they thought they had home equity. And, everyone's scared that that's going to happen again. And will it happen again? Will it happen worse than it happened before? Will it happen, but it won't be as drastic as what happened? If you study economics at all, and, especially the housing market, you know that things are cyclical. But the drastic nature of it, you just don't know for sure. I mean, you can talk to a few different people and get different answers, but what I decided to do for you today was to pull some statistics. So what I pulled was only for Cape Coral single family homes, because that's just what I wanted to look at to see what was going on, specifically here. So, and I only pulled the last quarter. So I pulled April, May, June. Now I know that we're in the last month of June right now, so there'll probably be several more closings today that won't actually change in our MLS for the next couple of days, but this will still give you a decent idea of what's happened over the past few years here. So right now, 2016, this last quarter, there's been 1,342 total single-family homes that have sold in Cape Coral. The prices ranged all the way from $92,000 to $2,050,000. So that's a huge price range. And, just to give you an idea, usually the ones on the very lower end, were really terrible homes that needed a lot of work. And that goes through the other years that I'm comparing also. The average sales price was $253,659. So that's kind of the average where we are currently at right now. Out of those 1,342 sales, only 65 were foreclosures and only 12 were short sales. So we're seeing very, very minuscule amounts of any distressed sales here. Again, is that scary? A little bit. The average days on market was 134. The average list price to sales price was 97.26. So let's compare that to 2010. In 2010, we were still coming out of that big dip that had happened, the big crash, and we were kind of clearing out foreclosures and short sales and trying to get back to more of a normal market. In 2010, there was 1,792 total closings, single-family homes in Cape Coral, ranging from $15,000 to $1,030,000. So again, the $15,000 I'm sure was, maybe even just land, who knows, but it was probably nothing you could actually live in. Out of those 1,792 though, 698 of them were foreclosures and 359 of them were short sales. That is a lot of distressed salespeople. So way more than what we're seeing now, obviously. The average days on market was 114. So again, a little less days on market, but not a huge difference there. And the average sales price was only $130,746. That's crazy. So that means that there were a lot of homes selling, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 that year. Whereas now, you can't get anything for that price range. So it's pretty drastic. Average list price to sales price was 99.45. You were pretty much paying what anything was being offered at because the prices were so low. Now, I also went back to 2005 because that was our peak. 2004, 2005, things were jamming here. Obviously, it slowed down in 2006, and then we saw our crash in 7, 8, 9, 2005, we had 1,452 total closings. So it wasn't as many as 2010, but it was more than this year so far. So they range from 21,300 to 2,100,000. Now, again, that 21,000 one, I didn't look at the details, but I'm sure it was some kind of really random thing going on because in 2005, you couldn't buy anything for really less than 200,000 in Cape Coral that you would want to live in. Most of our average, even first-time homes at that time were $250,000 minimum. Out of that 1,452 total, only 34 were foreclosures. So again, basically no foreclosures. There were 0 short sales. At that time, if you would have asked a real estate agent about a short sale, they would have looked at you like, I have no idea what a short sale is, never heard of it, unless they had maybe worked in, the late 70s and they went through that again, they're in the early 80s. But otherwise, no one knew. No one had a clue. So 0 short sales at that time period and 34 foreclosures. The average days on market was only 88 days, so things were selling quick. You figure 88 days might seem like a while, but that's probably something going under contract within, 30, 60 days, and then it takes, 30, 60 days to close. So 88 days is a really short days on market from list date to actually closing date. The average sales price, $340,014. So again, just to recap that, this year, $253,659. Back in 2010, $130,746. Average sales list price to sales price was 98.62, very similar to what we're seeing right now. Obviously, the average sales price was, close to $90,000 higher in 2005 than it is now, but a lot of these figures are paralleling 2005. If you look at it, 1,342 closings versus 1,452 closings, very, very similar numbers. Even the ranges, they go up to $2 million. That's very, very similar. The average sales price, again, like I mentioned, it was obviously higher in 2005, but not that far off, 340 to 253. Not a huge difference in the scheme of, national real estate. And the average list price to sales price currently 97.26, back then 98.62. So if you look at this data and you compare 2016 now with 2005, the same time period, there are a lot of parallels to the market. Now, what does that mean? I don't have a crystal ball, but I think it's something we should be paying attention to. If you're thinking of selling and you're thinking that, you might make more money next year than next year, you might want to rethink that if you're thinking of selling. If you're thinking of buying and maybe you don't need to make a move right now, maybe you wait. Maybe you wait to see what happens to the market here. Election year, see what happens. Does it make sense to buy? Does it make sense to just kind of wait? You have to look at things individually. I can't say it's a great time for everyone to sell or it's a great time for everyone to buy. That makes no sense. So you find a real estate agent that you want to work with and you trust and they're knowledgeable, and you sit with them and you look at the statistics and your circumstances and see what makes sense. But just keep in mind what happened here in, like I said, 2006, we started slowing down. We saw decreases 2007, 8, 9, 10. Market tanked. And we saw things start cleaning up, 11, 12, 13, 14, and now in 16. We have a pretty hot market again, but the parallels are there. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking about making a move. I sit with sellers and I show them statistics on their house and what we could sell their house for. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. What could I sell it for next year? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we could get you the same amount of money. Maybe it goes up another 3 or 5%. Maybe it tanks. In 2005, I tell the story all the time. We knew things were going up a lot and very quickly. And most people I would talk to were like, oh, I don't know how long this is going to happen, but hardly anyone talked about a crash. And the people that did talk about a crash were a lot of times considered crazy, or they were just looking at maybe a little crash, like, hey, if the average house is selling for $250, maybe it'll go down to $200. Not, hey, this house that I bought for $250 is going to be worth $80,000 in 2 years. Like, people weren't thinking like that. So people, now with that history and they remember it and they were in business then or they lived here then, they're thinking those things. And how similar or how different might it be? I don't know. My crystal ball, I don't think I have one. I don't know. It's not telling me. But I can sit with individuals and let them know if it's a good time to buy or sell based upon what the market's currently doing and what your plans are to do. Because it just depends on each individual. But I hope that these statistics, are useful to you. I will post a link to an article with these statistics so you could take a look at them on, paper as well. Again, this is Susan Milner with Florida Future Realty. We are located here in Cape Coral, Florida, so right in the heart of all these numbers. And if you are looking to, put your home on the market now that the market's really high, or if you're thinking of moving down here, we can definitely help guide you to make sure that you make the right choice for you and your situation. So you can always find me on the website at findcapecoralrealestate.com, or you can give me a call at 239-542-8521, or email me, mail, M-A-I-L, at susanmilner.com. I hope you enjoyed this video.